Hello everyone, I'm AyeforScotland, and today we're checking out a demo that is appearing in Steam's Detective Fest. This is the demo for Case Solved, a new game that is still in development, so they've got a disclaimer here to say that it might contain bugs or temporary content, which makes sense. I'm going to hit continue and we're going to jump right in. We do love a detective game. Right, so briefing: an American musician was found dead in a rainy alley in the Soho district of London shortly after finishing his performance at a local pub. The body showed signs of strangulation with a thin metallic wire, possibly taken from his own instrument. The violin case was open and untouched, suggesting that robbery was not the motive. During the final rehearsal of a play, the leading... Oh wait, hold on. No, this is just the 3 levels. Okay, we'll go with stage 1. First case in the field. The rain shows no mercy, but I can't fail. I must be meticulous. Every detail matters. Boy, can't wait to get everything wrong. Interrogate the suspects. Double click to collect evidence. Okay, suspect 3 had jealousy. Okay, sure. We'll go and ask her what's going on. Okay, and our evidence for this one: suspect 2 is not motivated by money. Okay. And the suspect who had jealousy is the drummer. Find the violin at the crime scene. Okay. There's the violin there. We'll go here. The manager is not the suspect. That makes sense, and I guess we can speak to the police officer. So this is just a clue gathering phase. This is akin to us like clicking text in the Golden Idol or whatever. So suspect number 3 is the drummer who had jealousy. Suspect number 2 is not motivated by money. Manager is not suspect 2, so the manager's suspect 1. And we've got money there, and then we've got fan who has obsession. Nice. First case is a detective, rain, broken lights, and a body. Let's follow procedure. The alley is small, detective, but full of footprints. Looks like half the pub came through here after the show. I do wonder if this could use some voice acting. I know that's not what they're doing at the moment, but it's interesting. 3 names already stand out: the manager, the fan, and the drummer. Money, obsession, and jealousy. Enough motives. The sound of the violin still echoes inside, almost ironic. There's no irony here, only facts. Let's hear from the people first, the details come later. Stage 1 of the investigation complete. Identified 3 suspects and their possible motives. Okay. I'm guessing we'll be in the alleyway now. Organise the testimonies and the evidence about the suspects' actions inside the pub. Connect where each one was, what they were doing, and what they were carrying. Objects tell stories, but not all of them are true. I need to connect actions, places, and intentions until the lie goes out of tune. Okay, so I'm guessing we'll be speaking to everyone again. Okay. So the drummer was on the stage, the manager was at the bar. The suspect who was playing had the instrument. I imagine it was the drummer, right? The manager was not playing. I don't imagine he would be. Okay. The fan was seen singing. Check the notes on the table. Is that the notes? It is. The suspect who was talking had the notebook and was not on the dance floor. So the drummer was on stage, which makes sense. I'm guessing the drummer was playing. The fan was seen singing. I'm guessing the manager was talking with the notebook and was at the entrance, and she was singing with a handkerchief on the dance floor. Testimonies sound rehearsed, each person describes the musician differently. Manager says he was happy, the fan swears he was crying, and the drummer, well, he can barely look at us. Contradictions, that's where the truth hides. We've mapped their actions inside the pub, now we have an internal timeline. I've mapped the actions of each suspect inside the pub, the accounts of what happened are conflicting. Fair enough. Pretty straightforward. I imagine this is like early tutorial stage, we're just learning what the things are. Many eyes on the scene, observers aren't always neutral. I need to find out if the paparazzo was working for someone or simply documenting the chaos. Okay. There's our paparazzo there. Ah, see, yeah, we're getting more clues and statements. Oh, shit, okay, that was tons of stuff. Confront all the suspects. We've got 2 pages of this now. Interesting. And then we can speak to the paparazzi. Right. Okay. The suspect in the alley had no guest list or clients as an alibi. Okay. So, we got everything at once there. So the suspect who was waiting did not cite clients. The fan said they were not in the pub. Paparazzo was in the alley for... We're gonna go with the paparazzo saying what his actual thing was. The manager was seen at the entrance. The manager was neither talking nor waiting, so was working. The suspect who was in the pub claimed the promoter could confirm they were talking. The fan said they were not in the pub, which would mean that the drummer's in the pub, and that the fan was backstage, which doesn't quite make sense. So the suspect who was waiting did not cite clients. The suspect in the alley had no guest list or clients as the alibi. Okay, let's keep it going. So we've got waiting and talking. The suspect who was in the pub claimed the promoter could confirm they were talking, so we'll go promoter there. Suspect who was waiting did not cite clients. Potentially then citing... Let's go with guest list, let's go with clients, and let's go with editor, which I think is everything. Their stories inside the pub are inconsistent. We need an outside point of view, the paparazzo. Confirmed detective who was positioned at the entrance of the alley when the show ended. We already have the photos he took. Excellent, the photos give us a impartial timeline. Now we have the alibis and physical evidence. Paparazzo's presence at the crime scene has been confirmed. His photos provide a new timeline and all alibis have been collected. Nice. Fatal chord. Stage 4. Confront each alibi. All the pieces are on the table, but the picture's wrong. I feel like I'm looking at the truth but through distorted glass. One piece is missing, or I'm seeing them the wrong way. Okay, check all statements. Yeah, we're getting bigger. So we've got the manager, the drummer. Any confirmed status must be supported by strong support. Okay, that makes sense. Footage validates the confirmed status of the manager. Okay. The police validated calls for the editor. Either whoever has calls as the source has partial status, or whoever has entry record as the source has reasonable support. Check the cameras, let's do that. Okay. And confirm the statements with the police officer. Right, okay, let's rack our brains here. So, these are the alibis, and then there's support. Whoever has entry record... Okay, we'll see these. The guest list was not found. Its status is absent. Okay, that's a start. Calls as a source cannot sustain a weak or unstable support. As in, that means it's a strong and reasonable support for the calls, right? So the police validated calls for the editor, which means that that's correct. Any confirmed status must be supported by strong. Because it's confirmed, that's then strong. Either whoever has calls as the source has partial status, or whoever has entry as the source has reasonable. Whoever has entry record as the source has an absent status. When we say entry record, are we talking about what they told us? I think some of the terminology is maybe throwing me a little bit here. Because the footage validates the confirmed status of the manager. So that can't be... Why would that be partial then? So hold on, let's go with that being reasonable, that being partial, then that being confirmed and that being strong, which then leaves us with entry record there and unstable, which gives witness, which gives invalid, which gives weak. And I think that's all the ticks. Which, yeah? The hours pass, but the alley still speaks. Every detail insists on returning like an echo that refuses to fade. And the yard is already waiting for a report. First case, first test of your name, detective. It's not the report that worries me, it's the feeling that a piece is still missing. Something I saw but didn't notice. Look again, detective. Sometimes what's missing isn't in the evidence, but in the way we see it. Look again, you're right, it's not the evidence, it's how we see it. Wait, the floor. I dismissed it as just rain dirt, but it's not, it's a drag mark. Call forensics, request a new report, one that considers the possibility of 2 attackers. Ah. Some alibis were confirmed and others collapsed. A new piece of physical evidence at the crime scene, a drag mark, prompted a new request for forensic analysis. Stage 5. Forensic analysis confirmed that the crime was committed by 2 people. Cross-check the state of their alibis with their presence in the alley, their connections, their roles to identify the perpetrator. It wasn't a solo, it was a duet. The report confirms what the trace on the ground whispered. I no longer seek a single motive, but the connection that tuned 2 wills to the same final act. Okay. Whoever has confirmed alibi is innocent. The fan declaration is never. Whoever has never as their declaration is inconsistent. Okay. Oh, we need to investigate these one by one. Okay. I mean, the suspect isn't the paparazzi guy, right? Paparazzo does not have inconsistent or compromised as their condition. Makes sense. Compromised suspect has impossible as their declaration. Okay. So, the fan declaration is never. But that means that their condition is inconsistent. Which I get. Whoever has the confirmed alibi is therefore innocent. And the paparazzo does not have inconsistent or compromised, so then has doubtful. Compromised is therefore the drummer, and has impossible guilt as their status for guilt. Whoever has doubtful condition does not have never or not at all. So they has negative, which that has not at all. What is this? We have a new piece of evidence. Oh shit, okay. I feel like splitting up the case into stages like this is maybe like throwing me a bit. So the inconsistent suspect is not the perpetrator. The paparazzo had their alibi validated, so they're now exempt. Then we've got the perpetrator and the accomplice and the witness. I think that makes sense. I don't know if there's any other stuff on the side there. Cool. Everything converges to the same point: jealousy, obsession, haste, a crime born from two out of sync hearts. The fan and the drummer, it was never just about the musician, but about what he represented to each of them. And in the end, the stage became a mirror. First case closed. I'll remember that, detective. You taught me something important in this case. I learned something too. Solving the case is one thing. Understanding what was lost here, that's something else entirely. What do you mean? Sometimes you have to listen to the room before you listen to the people. Let's go. We have a report to write. Case closed. Jealousy and obsession played together, the fatal chord that now echoes only in the silence of the night. Fair enough. Case resolved. Okay, we will play the next one. During the final rehearsal of a play, the leading actress collapsed dead on stage, turning the performance into a real crime. The body showed signs of poisoning, and the tension backstage revealed that the show was hiding more than art. The director, the ambitious understudy, the stagehand, and the orchestra musician are now suspects, each with motives that go far beyond theatre. Collect their testimonies, and we will find out who's who. Wait, what? Did I just restart the same thing? I think we might have. Yes, it looks like we might have. Yeah. Let's go back to the main menu just to check. It might be possible that this demo is the only thing. I've noticed that it doesn't actually change from the thing. So if I go there and I click on this, I think it just brings me back into that. Cool, so we've got one case. That's in the demo. There's just not a hard lock on it. That's fine. Sound. I will wrap up there, folks. I think this game has potential. I'd quite like to see maybe like later cases just to see how advanced it gets. I think you know, if you get pages of different testimony and you're really starting to balance them all together, it could be really, really interesting. So I'm keen to see how it develops. Again, the game's very early in development, and as mentioned at the start, they're still working on it, and there might be some bugs, as we've kind of just encountered there, but that's not a worry at all. Right, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Catch you in a bit. Bye bye.